back to 50/50. I'm delighted to have my husband here today.
Hello.
Some of you will know him as my husband if you've listened prior, and some of you may not.
And if you haven't listened prior, this is what my voice actually sounds like when I'm not saying hello like a member of the Sesame Street team.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So it's appropriate that you're here today. So your name's Andy Cooke. We should say that if people know you other than as my husband.
Indeed. Andrew Christopher Cooke,
That's
if you want me
right.
to feel like I'm in trouble.
That's right. Well, your mum still calls you Andrew.
Yeah, as long as she doesn't add the Christopher in, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I don't freak out.
Yeah, that's
good.
right. So you were here for an interview with me a long time ago now. Then you joined Danielle and I for our 1 year anniversary.
Yes.
Which Danielle and I both regretted, but that's okay.
Did you?
Yeah, we literally talked about it at the time.
Oh.
Remember how you were the
I must
dark...
have zoned out.
No, you were the dark lining to the silver cloud.
Oh, that regret. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm sorry. I might have gone a little high on my volume. Sorry about that. Yes, I was the lead lining. I have reflected on that since.
Oh,
actually.
Interesting. What did you come up with?
Well, I've realised that it is very much a part of my authentic self, so I think I probably need to bring it out more in our conversation today, you know?
Well, we have talked about this
Maybe
whole
try
thing
not to be
being
quite
about
so shiny.
authenticity.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. That's right. It is all about authenticity and doing it in real time, which
Yes.
Danielle and I have talked about is
right.
unusual, right? To do
Yep.
things in real time.
Yep.
Everyone does, I'm perfect now, but I used to be shit. Let me tell you about that.
Yeah.
Whereas we go, what's happening right this moment?
So now, of course, I'm debating whether I should start talking about my mild sciatica that I'm trying to deal with as I sit here and
You can do
things
it.
like that.
Is it of service to the audience, I
think
would
probably
argue?
Not. I feel like they can learn about sciatica on their own time without listening about mine.
It's actually also appropriate you're here today because yesterday Podbean told me that yesterday's episode was our 50th episode.
Yes, I heard this.
Yeah.
50 episodes.
I know, man.
Come on now.
I know.
That's a lot of time.
It really
A lot
is.
of time in this little room.
It really is. And it's flown and it's been, for me anyway, very, very easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. Because you've got good people.
Well, that's right. Danielle and Grayson are in the room, of course. Grayson doing his work and Danielle being here as Danielle. Has it flown for you guys as well? Nodding. And Grayson...
Slight raised eyebrows and nothing more. I don't know. He's hard to read.
He had a big night last night too.
Yeah,
It's
I heard
becoming a
this.
tradition.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good night out.
Yeah, that sounds very fun and young. Remember that? Youth?
I do. I remember the days.
Oh, yeah, that's cool, man.
Absolutely.
When people thought you were a drug dealer, right? Like when you were wearing your jacket.
Yes,
and...
there was a time. That was before I moved to Australia.
Yes.
I was not, let me be clear while I'm on the record, a drug dealer.
I like how you look to camera.
But yeah, I like to, lock eyes with the people that I'm speaking to sometimes. But I was an awkward teenager and then I was an awkward late teenager and awkward early 20-something old.
Yes.
And one of the ways that I dealt with my awkwardness was by making weird jokes that no one laughed at. But also the other one was that I would wear this coat almost perpetually. It wasn't one of those sort of full length numbers. I wasn't trying to be the Matrix or anything like that. But it was like a coat that probably came down to about halfway down my leg, I reckon. It was sort of the green number, kind of a sort of a, I don't know how to describe it. But anyway, it was a coat. And it was pretty heavy and just quietly in a nightclub, extremely hot.
I
put up with that because I felt like it was my little shield, I think,
protector.
psychologically speaking.
Yeah.
And so the problem, though, with that was on at least 2 occasions I'd be in the gents and someone would come up to me and say, "Hey, mate, you got any H?" I actually literally am quoting someone with that one. Have you got any H? And I had to take a moment to realise what on earth he was talking about.
Starting word that begins with
right,
H.
Exactly. I was like, "No, mate, I've got some E's, and no, I didn't have anything." And I didn't have an Australian accent at that stage, so it would have been really weird if that had been what I sounded like. Yeah, no, I think I just looked at him funny and said, no, and walked away.
Yeah, with your little support jacket.
With my little support jacket.
Yeah. It's like having a blankie, but you wore it.
Of course, wore it everywhere.
What a strange line of conversation we've entered early.
Well, I mean, that's what you get when you're looking for true authenticity.
I listened to Oprah the other day interview Elizabeth Gilbert on her new book, All the Way to the River. And I don't know
Okay.
if you know this, but you know the
I'm
Eat,
familiar
Pray,
with
Love
Elizabeth
course.
Gilbert, but
Everyone
I do
knows
not know
Elizabeth
about
Gilbert.
her going all the way to a river.
Yeah, okay. So she wrote Eat, Pray, Love, and that was beloved and hated depending on the person, but made her very, very famous.
Yeah.
She married the fellow at the end of that and was with him for 9 years. And her best friend, who was also her hairdresser, whose name was Rhea, who was a woman, they found out she had deadly liver and pancreatic cancer.
Oh, wow.
And as soon as that announcement was made, Elizabeth Gilbert left her husband and became the romantic partner of Rhea.
Ah, okay.
And she was meant to live 6 months. She lived about 2 years. Drug addict. Rhea was a drug addict and had been clean for 17 years, but became a drug addict during this cancer journey and being on pain meds. And the reason that it occurred to me was a couple of reasons. One was about authenticity. Oprah was saying to her, "But you're the Eat, Pray, Love woman. You're meant to have everything sorted." And she said, "Yeah, so nah."
Yeah.
And what it turned out to be is that she was she described it as a love sex addict. Sex addict we've heard about before, but relationship addict, love addict, you give me my meaning, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And as she was sharing this story, you know, Oprah was saying, "Wow, this is so brave, man. Like you're meant to have it sorted. We all follow you as the Eat, Pray, Love woman who's got it sorted." And she's like, "Yeah, no, I'm pretty much the opposite of that."
Yeah.
And yeah, her willingness to be true, it was very brave.
Yeah.
And she'd also got to the point where, with this partner having passed away, they had actually broken up by the time they passed away through this terrible period of the relationship and the lady's drug addiction. But she has come to the point where she's literally a recovering love addict. And she's had her hair cut really short because she wanted the freedom of that. And
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, this piece about, but you're like we talk a bit in our work, don't we, about this business of like the danger of establishing a social contract. Oh, I'm getting out all the big words now, but
Yeah.
the idea that, you know, people get a certain view of you,
Yes.
and then when you try to put down boundaries or be more authentic or say the truth about yourself, it's not just that it's hard because it's hard because now you're having to push through what to some degree for some people feels like a betrayal almost,
Yeah.
where you're messing with this concept of who you are and who you are for them and in the relationship with them. And of course, you know, with the relationships that people have with famous people, where it's what do they call it? Parasocial relationship.
Like me and Hugh Laurie.
Yeah, like you and Hugh Laurie. I mean, you're very close.
Very
you know?
close.
You've got a whole thing there.
I've watched him a lot. Does
Yeah.
that count as closeness?
Absolutely
Or
it does.
stalking? It's okay to watch him on telly.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Maybe not outside in the rain through his lounge room window.
That's a bit less appropriate.
Is it raining? I hadn't noticed. I don't know what made me think of that. Sorry, back to the point.
Yes.
But with the parasocial stuff, I feel like almost because of the cleanness of that, right?
Yes.
Like when we have normal relationships with people, we'll have a social contract and it's a bit messy because you kind of interact with them and you have different moods and all the rest of it. But with the parasocial stuff, where you've got this person who you've literally never interacted with, you
Yes.
can create this very pure version of who they are for you and
Yes.
your quote unquote relationship with them. So when they do something like, you know, demonstrate that they're human and they've got flaws and they're basically just a bit fucked up, you know, that can really be a big deal. Right?
Well, you know that saying, never meet your heroes.
Yeah.
I think there's two folds to never meet your heroes. One is exactly what you just said, that actually they're just a very ordinary person like we all are with the whole mix of story. And when you've had them on this pedestal, it's, oh, no, you're only human. I actually think my experience with never met your heroes has been more shocking, where because they've got to the point of fame or recognition and their ego has driven that to have it be, when you meet them, of course, they're often a muddied pile of mess because actually who they are is insecure or false or
Yeah.
Wanting people to think they're awesome, but actually there are more problems than just, the man on the street.
I mean, there are a lot of happy, lucky exceptions to this, but I think there's an enormous number of people who seek out the public eye or some form of visible quote unquote success, and we've had many a conversation about the concept of success,
Yes.
right? Who are doing it because they're trying to fill a hole. They're trying to, trying to solve a problem that came at a time where they didn't have any tools for it, and so now they're trying to, they're trying to compensate.
Yes.
And actually also that, for want of a better way of putting it, that brokenness is a real asset in some ways,
yes.
right? Think of someone like, I hesitate to say it for fear of us going down a path that I don't want to go down, but like think about Elon Musk, right? And all the incredible things that he's achieved. And
yes.
he really has achieved incredible
yes.
things, right?
That's the right word, right?
Right? And in all likelihood, a good portion of the reason that he's as driven as he is and is willing to do the kinds of things that really an awful lot of people definitely would not do, is because of that. It's because of this striving to try and deal with something that's missing.
Yeah. I remember reading Elaine de Botton, School of Life, saying it was either something like, I hope my children never wish to be famous, or the best sign I've raised my child well is that they don't want to be famous. And he's going to get $5, but one of the things I'm excited about with Sam is he's not showing any signs of interest.
Doesn't seem to, does he?
Not at all. No.
Yeah, good.
Which means he hasn't been rewarded for the show he puts on.
We'll regret saying this on a recording now when in 20 years' time, like he's a massive influencer or something.
Well, he is part of his generation.
Snorting cocaine off prostitutes' bums.
Oh, my God. What an image. But he is of his generation when he's like, now, how can I make as much money as I can through doing stuff online? He's definitely got that going.
100%,
but it's less about fame. It's more about the dollar bills, yo.
Yeah.
And that is literally how he'd say it as a white 11-year-old.
Yes, he definitely would.
I'm going to be in so much trouble if he hears that. That one was $10. That one was $10.
Really?
Yeah, because it was wrong because I was kind of paying out. I mean, him a little
bit. I see. So it's both exposure and not
and not helping his brand.
Yeah. Valid.
But his brand was very much helped by the teenage talk we did last week.
Oh, yes.
So
Tell me more.
Well, I talked about here that I was doing a talk to teenagers. Danielle, did we talk about it with one another last time and how it had gone well, or I was nervous and I was doing it, that it had gone well?
Yeah.
So Sam got the big kudos.
So delighted about that.
Oh, it was cool, man. Danielle and I had a very uncomfortable conversation this morning about what I might want to do, which we can talk about here because, we'll keep it or not.
Yeah.
But it recurred to me because I went and did this job with the teenagers, very worried that they'd look at me like Grayson does.
Does everyone in the audience know your context here? Like, 200 teenagers in a room somewhere down south?
Well, it depends if they've listened to every episode.
Okay.
Some people might just tune in for you, honey. Be like, look, I wouldn't listen to that shit, but if Andy's on,
blame them?
understandable.
Really? Yeah.
They're only human. So I did a session down south, Youth Leadership Summit for the Greater Bunbury Council, which brought together Bunbury plus the towns around Bunbury. We had 150-something children in a somewhat ballroom in Bunbury, and we ran a session for the day.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be very fun, very lively. Sam did a phenomenal job, and he actually got more named kudos than me.
Yeah, you got a lot of positive feedback.
Sam is the GOAT. He's the best. He needs to be paid more. He's the coolest. He was, and then he said, I'm Sigma after that quite a bit for the next 24 hours, which I know means I'm very good or I'm the best. Right?
Yes. Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
So anyway, that was all
good.
good.
Put a glossary in the show notes later. Right?
Yeah, like that for Gen Alpha. What did you say? And then I said, I got a trigger. Why were we talking about...
You were having a difficult conversation with Danielle about what you might want to do coming out of the back of that.
Yeah, because I did a coaching session with Usha recently. So I've been doing all my wonderful work with Lockie, actually found love for myself for the first time. Wonderful, right? I said it was risky for you because, it's less about need. It's a bit off the back of the Elizabeth Gilbert stuff.
You suddenly realise you just don't need me and you could just walk away.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's very freeing.
Yeah. Fantastic. I love that for you, honey. great. Awesome. For anyone who's not watching the video, the expression is not going with the tone. Or maybe it is, I don't know.
So it's sort of a roundabout way of talking about the same thing. So Elizabeth Gilbert says that she's love addict. She realised that she makes the person she's with like her God, then serves them, but she desperately wants their love, but actually she just looks after them and then picks up whatever crumbs they're willing to drop as they live their life, right?
God.
I know, but because but when I was listening to her, you know, I'm writing this fiction book about my life X number of years ago. I have that same propensity.
You're writing a fiction book that is inspired by your life X number of years.
Well, it is actually, because it's not exactly right, but there's certainly some themes that are pretty close.
Yeah.
And when I was listening to her talk about it and listening to this idea of being a complete person for oneself, you know, she talks about in the book, and Oprah, of course, says to the audience, a lot of women in this room will relate to this, you know, giving everything to the partner out of a cultural agreement plus insecurity and then going, hang on, like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
You know, so... And of course, what we were talking about to get to that was around this idea of authenticity. So when Danielle and I were talking this morning, we were talking about, I did this coaching with Usha, and she was talking to me about my values, and I listed my values, and then we relisted them. And when we relisted them, the top value that came out was expression. I most wanted to express myself. Yeah. Then she got me to see a vision of what that looked like, and it was me at a microphone with people in front of me, like I've done. And I was like,
and that was driven by you in the conversation?
Well, it just popped into my mind.
Okay.
So the value that came up when she said reorder them for me, I felt in my heart or my body, and I thought it's expression. Yeah. Then when we did what picture is there, it was me speaking in front of an audience. Yeah. And I've done that before, and I've done that with a level of authenticity, a level of show person combo. Mm-hmm. Lockie challenged me to do more speaking. I told him politely to F off. I didn't want to do that. Then I went and ran the teenage thing. And then, you know, we're planning to do a live 50-50, the Festival of 50-50, which is a very fun, light. You will be a part of, right? Yeah. So it's a very fun,
You're welcome, because that'll get you at least, 50 to 75% of your audience.
Oh, minimum, I'd say.
Yeah.
Martin will probably bring, 1, 2?
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah, he might be
I don't want to put him under the pump.
Act. Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, I just flick my hair. I just flick it straight back. So, Sorry,
I keep on putting you off track.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, all right.
It's okay. So the Festival of 50-50 is a very fun and happy idea for me, right? Yep. Doesn't have a lot of stress. It doesn't feel like it's challenging.
Really?
Nah.
What?
F no. Nah, not at all.
Are you doing that thing, though, just to clarify, you're doing that thing where it's like, yeah, no, that's not stressful at all, and then 48 hours out, I'm going to have a very different tam on my hands?
Grayson's nodding like he knows me. Just because you've listened to 50 episodes of this, Grayson. No, I mean, yes, there will be a level of excitement right before, but it doesn't have... And, of course, you've known me. You know that I feel happy and at ease, and then as things happen, I then fall in a heap, a.k.a.
I don't know fall in a heap, but...
Well, I fell in a heap when we had Sam.
You certainly get heightened. But that's a whole other kettle of fish.
Well, it was a different level, surely.
Yeah.
But yes, I generally, so Sam and I have discussed this. He's making a fortune today. He and I both have the attitude that we're positive and think everything will work out, and then get a shock when it doesn't. Yeah. But if we look at it as a percentage of time, we've got a much better plan, because you do the nothing's going to work.
100%.
Then you definitely can deal with stuff better than me, but you've spent so much more time worried than happy. It's not a clever approach.
So, yeah, I want to play with that a little bit, because on the one hand, I could not agree more. I think statistically speaking, it's a better proposition. And I, as you know, we've talked about this, I have been trying to lean more in your direction in terms of the la, 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 it's all going to be okay kind of approach to things. Not my natural tendency. We know this.
No.
But actually, there's another piece, right? And this is not even a contradiction, really, but that is worth, I think, saying out loud. And that is, you know, people like myself, and I suspect maybe Danielle, who I'm looking out of the corner of my eye here, you know, we did a lot of pre-work And on the downside, you know, there's analysis paralysis and overthinking and rumination and sort of never getting anything done because you just can't get to that point. But on the other hand, when I use those powers for good,
Yes.
I get some really awesome stuff, right?
True.
Because I will put a whole load of work and thinking into things. And then it's actually, as I was saying to a group of people the other day, and I can't use the DIS model because your audience won't all of them know the DIS model, but I'll say it to you and then I'll translate. So because C Andy does all the detail work, I Andy can rock up on the day like the talent, and just it all just works very, very smoothly.
Yes.
You can probably get that on context, but you know, because I have that analytical side and I'll stay up until bloody 4 o'clock in the morning getting stuff done.
Yes.
By the time I'm done, the person that I'm handing it over to, me,
Yes.
the person who's going out into public and being extroverted and, you know, doing all of that stuff,
Yes.
has just got everything that they need. Like it all just goes.
Oh, I think in terms of
smoothly as.
preparation, that is largely a useful approach to get the best outcome. When I did the teenage work, I had the opposite thing happen when we did the quiz, right?
Yeah.
So we were doing
yes.
so we were doing the same idea. So I have virtually no C in my DIS. So C is thoughtful, disciplined, get stuff finished, we'll work through stuff slowly, analyse it. Oh, even as I say it, it makes me feel nauseous. It's
Conscientious or controlling, depending on your perspective on such
so
things.
I don't like any of that. And so I try and avoid it as much as possible. And I haven't had any breakthrough around that, I think you could say.
No, I can testify to that. Yeah.
So anyway, I right before I do the thing, Grayson wasn't available because he was selfishly doing the most successful and largest production Whopper's ever done. Congratulations. But I would have asked him, how do I be cool with these teenagers?
Yeah.
So I asked our nephew Jacob, and he said, just try and be cool.
Yeah.
I said, that's
Don't try
perfect because
too hard.
I'm not.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
won't even. That's not even a risk. And then I spoke to my friend Susie's son, Dan, and Jess. Hello. And Dan said, do a quiz. They'll love the competition. And it was genius. It totally worked. The only problem is I went, okay, do a quiz. And that was the end of the thinking process.
Yeah.
So we got them to do their table numbers and names. I got Sam to write up their table names. And then we started scoring. But, of course, the kids really, really cared about their points, particularly when I told them they were going to
That's
get
not limited to kids, though, right?
Course
We've
not.
done enough of this stuff with adults that people get really into it.
Absolutely, but the
right?
kids were the next level.
Yeah,
because
okay.
what I said they were going to get as a prize was either a time zone voucher or a movie voucher for $30, the winning table.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
nice.
they were on board. And then, of course, I'm running around like a flibbity-gibbet, like I do, and Sam at one point had half a dozen teenagers standing around him yelling at him to add points that I'd missed. And I was going, give this table 2 points. And Sam was saying, I neither said the table number or name.
Yeah, that's right.
And he said it was a nightmare. I think it's part of the reason Sam got so many good, because they were like, this kid has tolerated this hellish day with this nutty woman. But, so I think it's right, and I learnt, hang on, some things require a bit more preparation, but I'm talking about more the emotional side of going, this will be good.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. I think I was watching a very good video by a fellow who I'm going to name drop, actually. He's called, his tag on YouTube is Healthy Gamer, I think, something like that. And I think he's a psych, but he also has like some sort of meditation training. I don't know the backstory, but he's done a couple of good pieces that I've watched that I've really enjoyed. And he did a piece around rumination. And of course, you know, overthinking, analysis, etc., is not rumination per se, but it's very much in the same world.
Yes.
And he was talking about this challenge of, you know, if you want to usefully solve a problem, it doesn't pay to come at it from the negative mindset, to put it very simply, right? You have to get yourself out of that mindset first and then start solving the problem. And the problem, of course, with the traditional ruminator is you're in the problem trying to solve the problem at an intellectual or mental level, right?
Yes.
And so you're necessarily kind of fighting against your own impedance, right?
Yes.
It's a very easy thing to say, you know, get happy first and then solve the problem.
Yes.
Like, okay.
Honestly.
But it is kind of true. And to the extent that I've experienced it, I would say things like simple things that I know work for me, like having breakfast and having a good cup of tea and taking my ADHD drugs, having had a walk in the sunshine and listening to happy music, and then trying to solve a problem or discuss something important with you that could turn into an argument, etc., etc. Much better way to go than if I wake up miserable and want to get into it or try to solve whatever problem it is that I'm having at that point in time.
Totally makes sense.
Yeah.
So with the festival of 50-50, the reason I'm not worried is connected to the uncomfortable thing I think I'm realising, right? So it's true to say I'm not very worried. And even when before it, I will not have the level of worry I've had for other things. The reason is I'm not the star of the show, right? So I've got people that I'm bringing who are fabulous, who I will either interview or they'll talk, we'll do Q&A. They're the stars. I'm facilitating the thing happening and get to enjoy being a part of a production, right? Like something in person that people will come and enjoy. It'll be fun. We'll have all these clever people. I think the piece of the puzzle that I was talking about with Usha and then Danielle today is I feel like I said to Danielle last time she and I were talking, have I gone on this massive looping journey to come back to the beginning but from a different angle? And there is something along the lines of, and Danielle, you can tell me if I've remembered this correctly.
There's a line from a poem here somewhere. Carry on.
What I said to her this morning, because she said, do you really want to do the festival of 50-50 or is it like a distraction from what you really want to do? And I said, I don't think it's a distraction, but it doesn't feel like a big challenge. It just feels like a nice thing to do, like whatevs, like let's do that, like that'll be good. But actually, I think there's something there where I think the thing that maybe Lockie has been challenging me to look at or what Danielle was picking up and she's like, there's something missing is I think I must be getting to a point where I want to say I'm the expert on something and have people agree with me or not, and I'm frightened to ask that question in case they disagree, right? So if I'm going to do a talk about something and say I'm the expert, so in this, I haven't come across as the expert in any way because I've talked about
You're really, by definition, the anti-expert,
right?
You're the experiencer rather than the...
Absolutely.
That's my sense of the intention, right?
Well, it is. It's literally that. So I'll use the wisdom of poets. I'll use the wisdom of my guests. I'll use my own wisdom at times, but often it's about, yes, I'm the person practicing the thing I'm trying to learn, not the expert. Yeah. And there's something in this process I'm in at the moment where it's like, and I don't know the answer, do I want to be the expert and I'm just scared to put myself out there as that and have people say, no, thanks, we don't want you to be the expert on that?
Yeah.
Or is there something else there? But there's definitely a piece of the fear puzzle that is around risking putting myself out there as an expert and having people say yay or nay to that.
Well, I mean, if I logic that one out, it's pretty straightforward. If you present yourself as an expert, then there's room for imposter syndrome. If you present yourself as a non-expert who's just struggling along with the rest of mankind, then there's no need to have any concern about imposter syndrome because, of course, you are never going to be anything but that authentically, right? And I think it kind of takes us back to the whole Elizabeth Gilbert thing with this business of, people put people on a pedestal.
I've got something. Hang on before I lose it.
All right.
Imposter syndrome.
Yes.
Okay. I've gone up on stage and talked about whatever. I've trained whatever. And over the years, I've been able to use it more and more. So I started out as almost a complete fraud. That might be a little strong. But, my joke when we first did episodes of this was me going, assertiveness for women? Is anyone for assertiveness for women?
Back in your AIM days, that was hilarious.
Terrified.
I feel like I literally shouted for you a couple of times.
You have shouted for me.
Yeah.
So that was correct imposter syndrome, right?
Yeah.
So if we follow this thread, right, off I toddle, assertiveness for women, emotional intelligence, because I've said on here, because I trained it for so many years, I started to practice it and it started to become authentic.
Yeah.
But it was still a mixed bag. So whether it was setting boundaries or whether it was being assertive or whether it was being, right? If you and I are having a vicious argument at home and then I'm on stage the next day going, always love everyone. There's a level of incongruence there. It's bullshit, right?
Like
it's
an
bullshit.
emotional intelligence expert that we will not be naming.
No.
No.
But that was Don't Meet Your Heroes.
There. Yeah.
Oh my God, that was
Holy
ugly.
moly.
We can theoretically say what happened and not name names. I don't even know where that person is anymore. But what happened was someone in the audience challenged the person and they annihilated them.
I mean, really?
With their nothing
they
but their
practically
defensive.
had a full amygdala hijack right there.
Practically it was like, this is terrifying to watch.
And then went on to speak with great authority about how important emotional intelligence is.
Oh, it was so disappointing. I was so disappointed.
Yeah.
But this is a milder version of that. So it's the same idea, but it's like the 50-50, right? I will be the things I'm talking about, but also not. Now, if we imagine I'm on this path that I've been on and I go and do my retreat and understand that I'm worth something no matter what I do, I work with Lockie and access what the story has been from the childhood, what I need to set myself free of, that I can actually love myself, and that has all come true, then is this big looping circle been, because where I want to come back to is talking about stuff that I do actually do and helping other people get that. And whilst I've been talking about it like, well, I wouldn't know what I'm doing, it's completely safe. No one can call me out on being a bullshitter because I'm literally the opposite. And I don't really take I do take a risk. I take a vulnerability risk and an exposure risk, and that has felt very risky this whole time.
I think you've kind of identified the solution to whatever the potential problem is there, though.
What do you mean?
Well, the sense that I have, if I can quickly try and summarise, is that, the concern here is that when you shift from fumbling along chaotically through life in public to let me tell you about the things that I have learnt past tense, you risk being the person that someone can go, well, you don't know what you say you do, or whatever. I don't know what kind of voice they have.
I like the voice. It was perfect. I think that person's name's Jan.
I'm not. So when they do that, right, then you're on a pedestal, blah, 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 blah. But I mean, isn't it obvious that you would just carry on the same way, but with a higher level of authority, right? So you're like, this is what I've learned, and I can say confidently works. It's kind of like what we do, actually, already.
I know.
To an extent.
This is what
I've learned on what works when I do it, and I regularly fail to do it. Right? I haven't got this totally sorted. It isn't, because it's the thing that I've been going on about to you and to anyone who'll listen recently. This business of having a maintenance over completion mindset, where instead of having this thing that really our society most very broadly has a real romance with, which is this idea that you get to a destination and then that's it.
That's
You're
it.
Done.
Right?
You've achieved it. You have success, or you are complete, or whatever the bullshit is. Right? That, nothing is anything other than a process. So you get to the point where you can say, okay, I'm going to speak authoritatively about this thing. And the reason I can is because I've had a ton of experiences. I've done a lot of things wrong, a lot of things right. I know what the right things are. I know other people who've done the right things. Here I am. I'm an authority on the subject, and that doesn't mean I'm perfect. In fact, if anything, if I had perfection for the whole of my existence, then I couldn't be an authority.
Yeah.
It's 50-50.
Yeah. So I get all of that, and we'll keep or dump this depending on whether we think it's useful for the audience, because we're literally coaching me.
Yeah.
But I have to take the opportunity because of Danielle and I's conversation, Usha and I, you being here, us talking about what we've been talking about. So I get what you're saying, but the piece I don't understand is I've put myself, well, I suppose I haven't put myself out there. I've been approached to be a speaker. I've been approached to be a speaker.
Yeah, there's a big difference, right? Like I always, in my early days, long before I started
Danielle's nodding with finger.
Right? Yeah. In my early days.
I think she just did a testify
long
finger.
Before I ever did any of the stuff that we do now, I did lots of custom service jobs, right? But anytime someone wanted me to do outbound calls, I never wanted to do that because then I was putting myself to someone else. If I've got an inbound call, no worries, right? Because they've decided they want to contact me. So, of course, I can help them. There's no problem.
Yeah, yeah.
But if I'm calling them, it's like, oh, now I might be interfering in someone's life and they haven't asked me to.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the same principle. I know
Yeah,
it's
so
probably
I
not
think
the best analogy.
No, it's good. It's good. It's perfect. I think the thing is around understanding that there is an element of me that is frightened to put myself out there like that.
Yeah.
And then the second piece of that puzzle is, which feels quite natural as I say it, is that because I'm still defining the subject that I want to be the speaker about,
Yeah.
there will be a time lag in terms of so this process I'm in at the moment, writing the fiction book, having this podcast, doing the live 50-50, it's all part of a path that is going to lead to, I suspect, me putting myself out there in some way.
Perhaps.
But because, I'm not sure, but because I think it's useful to look at, that is an actual fear. So instead of pretending it's not there or pretending I don't want to do a particular thing, it's like, hang on, if I wasn't afraid to put myself out there, would I or can I? But secondly, what is it that I want to put myself out there about? Mm-hmm. And I have a rough idea. It's around being loving and being authentic and a bit around being, the things we've talked about here. But I'm not so clear about that I'm ready to get on the phone tomorrow and go, hey, BHP, I want to talk to you about this.
Yeah.
But I like not lying about the fact the fear has been a blocker. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So instead of going, I don't want to talk anyway. Fuck you. I don't even want to do it. So I've just got to fix my straps because they're annoying me. It's not good for the video, but they're like halfway down my arms now. Okay. How's that?
Yeah, it's good. The hair's doing its job.
Okay. So, I just like having it out in the oxygen. Mm-hmm. Don't lie. You are frightened to offer yourself as someone that people could accept or reject.
Yeah, 100%. I think that would make you a member of the human race.
I know, you're very good at doing that. And I love that about you in terms of being loving by going, you're not alone doing that. But it's useful for me to really own it. Whether anyone else would do it or not doesn't matter. For me, it's like, just tell the truth. You're frightened of saying, this is what I could do for you as the expert, and someone saying, I don't think so. You're not either good enough for us or you're not the right thing for us or whatever. It's a next level of lack of comfort zone.
Yeah, it's a funny thing, actually, because I definitely had that a lot, and I still do, of course, but I have to say, a lot more recently I've shifted much more to feeling, this is going to make me sound like a really arrogant asshole. I've just realised just before it comes out. But I've shifted to feeling a lot more comfortable and confident in my own thoughts about stuff. Yes. Perhaps because I'm very comfortable saying, I wouldn't have a clue. That's not my area.
Yes.
Right? Like I don't try to fake it till I make it with anything anymore.
Yes.
But, I don't have that same thing.
I think I can answer why you don't for a couple of different reasons. The areas that you're working in, you have really, really practiced.
Yep.
And what you said about not being someone that does stuff on the fly, the level of effort you've put in to create a good product, you should absolutely have the confidence. It'd be a mistake to think that you shouldn't have that confidence.
Let's do live psychology here, though, because what happens as you say that is I immediately now start getting nervous because, like, anyone that's listening is like, well, it would have to be a very high quality product then.
That it is.
Yeah,
it is.
But that's what I'm getting at.
Well,
like,
it's exactly.
Like I don't. It's that classic thing that we do. So Danielle will know about this. You and I, when we go to have a conversation with a potential client, you will do the classic sales thing.
Yeah.
And you will probably quite appropriately talk about how fabulous we are and the things that we can do and succeed at. And I'm like, ixnay on the accessnay, right? I really always want to undersell.
I know.
Because it's so much easier to exceed expectations.
Yeah, I know. But what you just did, your discomfort there is exactly what we were just talking about with me promoting myself. It's identical.
Yeah.
So the truth is, and clients will watch and listen to this and go, Andy, cut it out if you pretend that the product isn't good. It doesn't serve anyone for you to say, oh, now I think like, oh, I've set high expectations. You could set expectations 100 out of 100, and that is how good you are at what you do, Andy.
That's very kind,
And
I find it hard to take compliments.
Well, that's fine. You can feel uncomfortable. But the point for the listener is around the idea of, you said, oh, that's shifted quite a bit for me. And I was answering the question by saying the reasons it's shifted is because you put in an enormous preparatory effort, enormous to the point of disruptive to your family. You literally stay up till 4 in the morning, and we've had conversations about that.
Yes.
But you absolutely put it in. And then when you're in the room, because you are practiced and becoming better and better at the art of what you do, and you love what you do, the combination is making you were always very good at what you did, but now you are definitely at the next level. You're more authentic, you're less showman. You're actually more showman in a good way, because your authentic self is actually a better showman. And
I'm less game show host.
Even though I did fall in love with the game show host. I loved that guy.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a revelation to me.
Oh, yeah, you were, yeah.
Ah,
yeah.
How intriguing.
Yeah, I mean, now I would go vomit, no way, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah, okay.
You know, and I just thought, oh, this fellow's so handsome and charismatic. This is awesome.
Okay, interesting.
Apart from when you said, what cartoon character are you? And I told...
Oh, let's not dig that one all up again.
No, we're digging.
Oh, no.
Well, it was in the same era.
I'm the guest here, Tamara.
Oh, you're pulling that one out.
Or was it Gargamel?
No, it was Azrael, Gargamel's cat.
Gargamel's cat.
So you said,
I don't even really recognise
what cartoon character would you be in front of people? And I said...
Just for the context here.
Oh,
I don't know
getting
whether we've covered this.
defensive.
Well,
getting
no.
defensive.
I'm just want to be kind to our audience and help them understand
you want to be
what
kind
the context is.
to the audience, do
Yes,
you,
to
Andy?
the audience.
It's all about them.
We've probably already told this story in a previous episode, but Tam's joining my group at one of the training companies that I'm working for. She's a participant mainly because she's getting her head around the content that she's going to be running.
Because I'm going to be running it.
So she's there, and we're doing the get to know you kind of stuff at the beginning. And I did an exercise that was foisted upon me.
I was going to say, you've never done that exercise.
No way that'd be the kind of thing I would do in my training these days. But it was like, if you were a cartoon character, what would you be? Blah, blah. Or if you were a character generally, and you said Gargamel.
I would be Gargamel's cat, Azrael. And you go, you're a freak. And I went,
I don't know that I said it quite that quickly, but I definitely said it. Or I might have said, you're just a weirdo or something like that.
You did not. You said, you're a freak. And I was insecure. It was an iStyling disc that wanted recognition and to look good.
Yeah.
And anyway.
And didn't say anything about it at the time.
No, I would have laughed.
Or even later that day.
No, because
we were
we've
regularly
got
chatting at
our
that stage.
limbic reactions, fight, flight, freeze, and then the ones that they've now realised, fawn and flop. I was fawning, so I was like, I am devastated. You handsome, clever fellow.
Yeah.
So no, I wouldn't have said anything.
That sucks. That's the reason I like retelling that story, because what it does is two things simultaneously. One, it makes me feel guilty and shitty because I was a bit of an asshole, without even realising that I was doing it.
It was part of your shtick.
I was, as far as I was concerned, I was demonstrating my liking of you by my willingness to take the piss out of you in public.
English.
Right? Classic English technique. I don't think it's exclusive to English, by the way.
No, it's not.
But the other thing that immediately occurs to me is like, okay, how many thousands of other poor individuals over the years have I given a what I think is just a jovial serve because I feel like I resonate with them.
Yeah.
And actually what they've done is they've walked away licking their wounds.
Yeah.
Right?
A few.
That sucks.
A few. But I mean, I know that I'm very far up the sensitive end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
So I would say many
You're
people.
A bit precious.
I am.
Yeah.
And many people, that just hurt because
because I'm so sorry.
No, it just hurt because Dad always says to me, you're too sensitive. And it wasn't until I was 37 or 8 I realised my dad's too sensitive, and that's why he was projecting. But when you said you're precious, I got that literal childhood.
Oh no,
It's
I'm
all right, it's good.
sorry.
It's all grist for the mill.
Yeah.
I know you didn't mean anything by it.
Yeah.
But I am. It's true. I'm
Yeah.
very sensitive. And I used to hate that about myself, one, because I was told it was uncool, and two, etc. And then I realised, oh my God, the reason that I coach very well, the reason I can do speaking that makes a difference is because I'm very sensitive.
Yeah.
So on one hand, I have very thin skin and can be a pain in the ass, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the other hand, it gives me an ability to feel and impact people very positively, right?
I think that's also another.
But I don't think you would have definitely heard a few feelings out of thousands. I think majority would have been,
Yeah.
you know, because they're not as sensitive.
Well, I hope so. Fingers crossed.
No, that's right. They would have known you
They're
had
not
good
forming
intention
support
anyway.
groups.
What was that?
They're not forming support groups.
I don't think so. I found out one of the girls I went to primary school who was my enemy, she went to a therapist and talked about how bad I was.
Yeah.
It's shocking.
It's amazing. I think that's an interesting thing to explore. I don't know whether we want to explore it now, but I think, you know, that whole thing of like everyone's the hero in their own story, right?
Absolutely.
Like, even if it's a tragic hero.
Yeah.
Because I think there are definitely people who write a story where they're not like striding manfully or womanfully forward with the exploding building behind them and, you know, ninja skills. But they are the center. They are the protagonist, right? Mm. And sometimes I reflect back on earlier parts of my life and I realise, truth be told, there would be people that could really legitimately say, that guy really hurt me, or that guy did something super uncool that would, you know, like it would have been a really big deal for them at the time.
Yeah.
And it's only really with really, really prolonged retrospect that I'm aware of that. Like at the time, I would have been oblivious, I say, in my own defence. But yeah, like that's a bit fallen. It's quite confronting.
It is confronting.
To realise that you're that person.
I know.
You know, quote unquote, that person.
I know. Well, I would have never realised, but I bumped into people who used to know me when I was a kid, and their reaction to me now was like, oh, wow, they don't like me. Yeah. So it was very surprising. I thought I was awesome. And, of course, I was being exactly like you're saying, someone that they didn't think was great to be around.
Yeah.
And I can see children now that I know that I go, oh, I know they've got exactly the same style I had. And as an adult, I don't really like them. And if I saw them as an adult, I wouldn't react to someone I really liked. But they think they're awesome like I used to think I was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah.
We're going all around the houses, aren't we?
We are, indeed.
Well, we'll listen to the raw file and see if it would be useful for other people. Hopefully it will.
Fingers crossed.
Like what you heard? Like and subscribe.